With Conference Championship weekend in the books, Super Bowl 57 in Arizona will feature the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFC and the Kansas City Chiefs from the AFC. After stellar seasons from both squads, let's take a look at last week's matchup and break the tape. So we're going to pick it up here in our Eagles game versus the 49ers. It's going to be our first play, 9:51 in the first quarter, second and goal at the 7-yard line. For Philly, they're going to have 5 offensive linemen and an additional tight end helping in the run game. For the Niners, classic 4-3 defense, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. 3 of those are going to be playing tight man coverage, and we're also going to have a safety helping in the run game. So the Eagles are going to do a classic run play. They're going to send 2 double teams at the interior linemen, and it's going to be one-on-one battles on the outside. So for the Eagles, they're really going to dominate those one-on-one matchups, and it's just going to be classic overpowering in the middle. Fred Warner and their safety are going to go left, which is going to leave a wide open gap for Miles Sanders to take it to the house. And now Philly's been known all year for having that dominant offensive lineman, but San Francisco had many mistakes in this matchup and ultimately led to a huge blowout that would send Philly to the Super Bowl once again. Now we're going to go to our second play here, picking up 1:40 left in the first half, 2nd and 5 at the 13-yard line. Once again, Philly with that 5 offensive linemen setup and Niners in that 4-3 defense. Yet again, simple one-on-one matchups. Philly really dominating in the trenches. Eagles from snap to score have just completely took over this game. What's key in this one is Jason Kelce is going to get to the second level of defense, and he's going to lead Miles Sanders to his second score of the night. Jason Kelce, really short, stocky guy, shows why he made the Pro Bowl once again, able to get into that second line, win his matchup against the defensive lineman, and then move to the linebacker and pave the way for Penn State's alum Miles Sanders. Now lastly, we're going to go to 2:30 remaining in the third quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 8 at the 21-yard line. Now Jalen Hurts is currently in the MVP conversation, and a real reason why is because of his ability to do it in the air, but on the ground. He's got those massive quads. We saw a video of him in Oklahoma squatting 500 pounds. Did it like light work, kind of like Saquon Barkley, right? Known as Saquads. But Phillies, once again, simple 5 offensive linemen setup. Niners, once again, in that 4-3 defense. It seems like every time the Niners were in the 4-3, Philly had their way and would score. There's going to be zone coverage from linebackers and the defensive backs, so not much help in the trenches. One-on-one matchups, once again, Jason Kelce doesn't engage with anyone this time. Instead, he's going to act as a lead blocker and lead the way for a QB draw. So Jalen Hurts, what makes him so dominant? I touched on it a little bit before, but his legs and his running ability. The ability to he can either throw in the air or he can take it, and he can take it for 21 yards. So it's a designed QB draw. He's going to break 2 tackles in the backfield. Just amazing. San Fran really got to go back to practice in the offseason and really do those tackling drills again, because just the ability to if you have a defensive lineman and a linebacker missing a tackle on a quarterback who's already fatigued and had his way in this one, he should have made those easy tackles. But 2 plays later, doesn't matter, because after a 21-yard pickup, he's going to steamroll his way into the end zone to give the Eagles a 28-7 lead, and they're just ultimately going to take this one away, and they're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, and who knows, maybe a repeat of their Cinderella run a couple years ago. But enough of the NFC side. Cole, tell me about the AFC between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, so we're going to take a look at the Chiefs here. The first play we got late in the second quarter, 3:57 remaining. It's a 4th and 1 at the Bengals' 14-yard line. Obviously a crucial situation in the game. Kansas City's going to come out in an empty shotgun formation. Cincinnati's going to have 6 pass rushers and 5 men back in coverage. The Chiefs are going to keep 2 tight ends in to block, and you're going to watch Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They're going to run curl-outs underneath to occupy the underneath defenders. It's also going to be a designed rollout, which is going to get the defense moving to the right. And they're all going to be expecting to throw these flats and the underneath routes, because that's what the Chiefs are known for. That's the tendency. But Mahomes, he's going to recognize that he has Kelce on a delayed fade, one-on-one, with a much smaller safety in Jesse Bates. And Jesse Bates is a great player, but at that point, I mean, it's just a mismatch. Kelce's going to get that every single time, and he's able to box Jesse Bates out and make the touchdown. We get to a second play here with 4:27 remaining in the third quarter. It's another crucial situation, 3rd down and 10 at the Bengals' 19-yard line, another opportunity for them to get off the field. Casey's going to come out in 12 personnel, and Cincinnati's going to come out in a variation of cover 1. So they're going to have Jesse Bates up top covering the middle of the field. The Chiefs are going to come out, and they're going to have Sky Moore run a little crosser out, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling is going to run a post route. You're going to watch Jesse Bates in the middle of the field. He's going to attack this crosser route, thinking that he's going to jump it for an interception as the pocket collapses. But Mahomes does what Mahomes does, recognizes the pressure, steps up, and he fires a laser right into the middle of the wide open middle of the field, and MVS is going to get the touchdown. As we move on to play 3, this one comes late in the fourth quarter. The Bengals' last possession of another crucial third down. Casey's going to come out in a dime package, expecting the Bengals obviously to throw the ball with 6 defensive backs. Cincinnati's going to come out in a tight shotgun formation. And the Chiefs, they're going to obviously in dime. They have 4 defensive linemen, and they're only going to have those 4 rushing. So they have to figure out a way to generate some pressure. You're going to watch, they're going to overload the left side of this Bengals offensive line to isolate Chris Jones 1v1 with the right tackle. And Joe Burrow is going to look here at an out and go concept on the outside, hoping that Hayden Hurst can break open on the out. But number 21, Trent McDuffie, is able to stick with him, shuts down Burrow's first read, and he's not even able to get to his next progression as Chris Jones comes in with a textbook rip move to come in through for the sack and make a crucial stop. It should be interesting to see. Chris Jones is a tall task ahead of him with Jalen Hurts in that Eagles offense. See how he fares in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why he's a DPOY candidate this year. I mean, what Chris Jones has been able to do on a Chiefs defense that really wasn't the best starting the season. You know, they were giving up a ton of points, ton of yardage, and then somewhere around week 6, they flipped the switch. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes, when you have him at the helm, I mean, MVP candidate year in and year out, throwing for 40, 30, 50-plus touchdowns every year. I mean, it's going to be a good one between Philly and KC. I mean, just at the helm, the quarterbacks really – the offensive abilities that they have, not only in the air, but on the ground as well. So the Super Bowl should be a good one. We're in for a great look. And tune in next time where we'll bring you more coverage and more film breakdown on the Super Bowl